Goddamn. Hey, shout out to everybody that's watching this shit right now. Shout out to everybody that's gonna watch this shit on the replay. I want to be able to put this piece of content out with precision. You understand me? If you don't know what this is right now, welcome to the prescription. You understand what I'm saying? This is something that's I've always had, but I've never could quite attach it to certain types of content. So it's part of the reason why I'm on this brand new page. You know, we didn't start it back in the mud. You know, we gaining traction as we speak, man. We are live right now. Platform, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right now. You understand me? So, if you must know, I kind of scout topics and I kind of find certain things that are very, very interesting, and I try to formulate them into pieces of content. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, but tonight's show is gonna be a good one. I got a lot of shit going on these screens. I'm really using this goddamn laptop. $1,000 laptop. You're gonna use all of its action down here. But this is the prescription. Never seen it before. You know, I had to put it, you know, I was trying to find a name for what I'm doing right here, what we're doing right here. So this is Curiosity with Cosmic Truth. Flipping the culture inside out, serving the game, tailored for those with a player talent. Minds that wonder and souls that wonder. I present to you the prescription. And for today's topic, as you see on the bottom of the screen, I know a lot of us grew up and we love the Boondocks. We love the Boondocks. More importantly, besides the Boondocks, I wanted to pinpoint a speech in 2003 by McGruder, who was the creator of Boondocks. I remember, you know, shit, way before the cartoon, I was reading the comic strips. I would always want the comic strips and the sport. And I was always, you know, looking for the Boondocks, and he brought that to life and into action. He had a very interesting speech on C-SPAN. He had, you know, these conversations on C-SPAN a lot. There's a few of them out there, definitely on YouTube, social media platforms, and whatnot. And I put this speech at most definitely top 5 as far as cultural speeches. I'm gonna deem them cultural speeches. This is in my top 5. It's up there for me because he pretty much goes down the line of what this is. Rarely do we ever have somebody that's in Hollywood that, you know, that has seen it from the outside in and the inside out, and shit lives to actually talk about it. You feel what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about Aaron McGruder. I'm gonna give you a brief bio of who he is to kind of frame up what's going on right now. You understand what I'm saying? So this guy that you see on the goddamn screen, man, Aaron McGruder, right? He is hold on real quick. Let me pull these up. I done had shit that closed down. You know, let me see. Put that right there and that right there. Okay, that's how it's supposed to go. So, Aaron McGruder, you know, he's a visionary. Some call him a rebel cartoonist who gave hip hop a very political voice, right? He's a visionary writer and creator who revolutionized Black satire. You feel me? The Boondocks was something like we never seen before. You feel me? Like we never seen before. It was different. It was new. It was exciting. You know what I'm saying? The artwork, everything was flawless. You feel me? But he revolutionized Black satire through the lens of unapologetic truth, right? Excuse me. So he's best known for the Boondocks. You know, it was a comic strip that turned critically acclaimed um, animated series, and he used his sharp wit and fearless commentary, as you will see in this today, to challenge American hypocrisy, racism, and um, the commodification of Black culture. So, born in 1974 in Chicago and raised in Columbia, Maryland, McGruder blended political consciousness, hip hop sensibility, and anime influences to craft a narrative that spoke directly to the post civil rights generation through characters like Huey Freeman, a 10-year-old revolutionary trapped in suburbia. He gave voice to the frustrations, the contradictions, and the brilliance of modern Black thought. So he's a graduate of the University of Maryland, and he launched the Boondocks in college, in the college newspaper before his national syndication in 1999. So by the time it hit television on Adult Swim, shout out to everybody that remember Adult Swim, long live Adult Swim. I don't know if it's still on. I ain't watched Cartoon Network in a minute, but long live Adult Swim. The Boondocks had become a cultural force. You know, it focused in on everything from the war on terror to BET's corporate exploitation. Now, often controversial and always ahead of time, Aaron McGruder has remained a cultural lightning rod. He's a rare artist who's both fiercely intellectual and radically creative. You know, so his work is more than just entertainment. It's a mirror held up to a society that prefers not to look. Now, whether through um, the animation or public commentary or his rare appearances in his interviews and speeches, Aaron McGruder continues to be a disruptive voice in American culture, reminding us that satire, when wielded by the right hands, can be revolutionary. So that's who he is. That's putting up the frame for what we're doing. We got 3 parts a day. We should not be here long, but if we are, I don't give a fuck. This is what we're doing. This is the prescription. You know how we roll on this side of the game. You feel me? So, let me go back over here to this. I got timestamps. I got all type of shit going on. So, I do want to get to this though. So if we're gonna go over here, I think I'm gonna take myself out the box. So I'm just a talking circle right now. So I'm gonna take myself out the box. I already got that updated. Let me get to the settings and let me take me out. Boom, right there. So it just be those 2. All right. So part 1 of this, right? Part 1 of this, I had to be, I don't want to say careful how I frame it because I just want to be so precise with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm somewhat of a perfectionist to a certain extent, but part 1 did satirists as profit. Aaron McGruder's warning shot. Now, way before it was think pieces, before the TED Talks, before woke was a brand, there was Aaron McGruder. He was raw. He was unapologetic and prophetic. And in 2003, he stood on the C-SPAN stage, not to comfort America, but to confront it. He wasn't there to smile or pander. He was there to call out the contradictions eating away at Black America from the inside out. Now, his early critiques of power, politics, and performative leadership eerily foreshadowed the world that we're living in today. As of right now, his speech still resonates today, as of right now. So we're gonna get through part 1. I have to break the interview down. I mean, not an interview, but it's kind of like a speech. It's things hosted by Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornel West. This is like an hour long. You can find this, I want to say like an hour, 45 minutes long. But you can find this on in its entirety. The whole thing was golden. You feel what I'm saying? And this was focused in on Black youth and the media. And I think that is what also makes it so important is who the audience was. And as you'll see during the speech, you know, you'll see who the audience was, you know. Let me pull this up real quick. Now, I do want to say this. Before we get to it, right? His C-SPAN speech was striking, not only for content, but for his tone, right? Now, he wasn't reading from a traditional playbook of cautious, media trained respectability. He called out Condoleezza Rice, the Bush administration, and even fellow Black Americans who, in his view, had become too comfortable with power structures that never served them. And what he exposed was the growing distance between the symbolism and substance. Black faces in high places were being celebrated, but the conditions of the masses remained largely unchanged. And he also saw the danger in confusing individual success with collective liberation, right? Now, that same dynamic is on steroids today. It's bulked up. It's hulked up. You feel me? The individual success with collective liberation is bulked up. You know what I'm saying? It's on HGH. It's on horse tranquilizers, whatever people use out there to get swole. That's what that dynamic is on right now at this very moment. So whether it's celebrities in politics or brand ambassadors for quote unquote diversity, you know, that's been a hot word lately with the DEI and all that shit. So quote unquote diversity, right? Mind you, since 2003. So take your mind back a little bit to what was going on in 2003. In 2003, I was 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? Aaron McGruder's core message still applies. And representation is not revolution. You did? So we're going to go through this first few minutes. We're going to go through the whole, majority of the whole thing. I got it chopped up in parts. We can go through it all. It's, you know, we can go through it all. So we're going to start right here. Get to it.
Tavis thinks he's very kind. Thank you to all of you for being here. Thanks to the audience for C-SPAN. I've got my phone here to keep track of time, so if it goes off, I'm not trying to be, you know, not trying to be a baller. I'm just trying to keep.
And if I didn't tell you before, you know, I know I said I wasn't going to be, we're going to be here for a long time, but we might be, it don't matter. Might go ahead and get your dinner ready, grab your plate and snacks, roll your weed up and things of that nature. You know, this is going to be a nice little listen, a nice little piece to send you off into your evening. You understand me? But here we go.
Keep track of the time. So today we're talking about redefining the image, which, you know, is comforting to me because I think oftentimes when we start to examine politics, in particular, public policy, what's going on in the world, sometimes those of us who lean towards the political left fail to understand the importance of image. This is a problem which costs us a great deal, both in terms of money, our cultural situation, and our political situation. I don't know how important it was decades past, before my time and before your time. But what people consistently underestimate today is how the nature of mass media has transformed society. 10 people control 90% of everything you see, read, and hear in this country. 10 people. And they want to tell you that Cuba has state-run media. 10 people. Who are those 10 people? Well, you can look them up. They're not hard to find. That, in and of itself, is problematic. When you consider that these 10 people all need permission from the US government in order to have licenses, in order to buy other corporations, in order to do all the nefarious things they like to do, then you really understand what state-run media is. If Martin Luther King were alive today and he were in his 20s, nobody would know who he was because he would never get on TV. That's the difference between 2003 and 1953 or 1963. We live in a completely different era where information is more tightly controlled than it has ever been in the history of this country. What that really means is somebody can tell you black is white and night is day, and you will believe it. And not only that, the bigger the lie, the more likely you are to believe it. They told you for how many months that the attacks on New York and the Pentagon were the responsibility of Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. They told you that over and over and over and over again. And you know what? You believed it. Until they wanted to invade Iraq. Then they told you it was Saddam who did it. They just told you a completely different thing. And you know what? Nobody said anything. Everyone, well, okay, sure. Now, you guys are smart, so I know some of y'all had to be asking questions. Some of y'all had to go, oh, this ain't sitting right. But the vast majority of Americans believed it. How many of y'all are old enough to remember, well, I guess none of you are old enough to remember Iran-Contra. I'm barely old enough to remember Iran-Contra. But I won't get into that. There is such a limited amount of truth available for you to acquire, to digest, and to apply. This is not an accident, and it's not just a conspiracy against black people. This is the world in which you live today. As leaders, the most important thing that you have to remember is that the nature of power changes. These people who run the world, they may not be good people. In fact, they're really, really bad people. But they're not stupid people. Rarely do they make the same mistakes twice. Meaning, whatever worked before, whatever strategies, whatever tactics, whatever plans were really successful 30, 40 years ago, they're not going to work anymore. They've learned those lessons. We're coming up on the anniversary of the March on Washington. One of the most memorable moments in American history, something that has ingrained itself in all of American culture, because we can look, we can remember all of us seeing the footage of all those people, Martin Luther King, the speech, the singing, all that stuff. It was a big deal. Then we had the Million Man March, 1995. We've seen that. That was the response. It wasn't that big a deal. It was a big deal for like a week. Y'all are probably too young to remember that, but you know, we all went, we felt good. It was like a moment. But there was something that felt a little old. And then there was a Million Mom March and a Million Black Women. There's been like 500,000 people marches since then. To the point that when we're on the verge of the Iraq War, no, actually after the Iraq War started, some 400,000 people march in New York City. And they don't even get on the news. This is what I mean when I say that the nature of power has changed. The Civil Rights Movement, what was so amazing about it was that there was a brand new tactic. Mass media was new, television was new. And they realized that they could use this new thing to their advantage. That they would be showing people the oppression that black Americans face, and it would be beamed across the world. It would be the first time these images were being seen in this nature. And they used it masterfully, and it worked wonderfully. But in 2003, nobody cares about your march and your picket sign. And even if they did, they'll never know what happened. Because you won't get on the news. This is what image is. This is what we're talking about. Wrestling control of information from those that have it and those that don't want to be honest. Those that want to use that information to put a stranglehold on the entire planet. So those same people who are, flipping through and they're watching Fox News and they're watching CNN and they're watching MSNBC and they're being told how popular the president is and all of that stuff. Then they flip a few channels over to BET and they watch You Act Like Idiots. And that's all they see. They only see you acting like idiots. And you can get mad if you want. You can go, that's the media. Okay, yeah, it's the media, but they're still watching you act like idiots. And every week there's somebody new on television acting like an idiot. And they look like you, and they dress like you, and they talk like you. Are y'all mad at that? But are you really mad? And if you are mad, the question becomes, what do you do about it?
What do you do about it? What do you do about it? One of the things that I liked about this speech and that I like about him is that he knew what he was doing. And he also anticipated the cost of truth. Now, as you can see, the audience was a bunch of beautiful Black children. It was us, our age group, 2003. It was us. You know what I'm saying? It was important for us to hear that at that moment, to kind of lead us to what's going on right now. Like I said, it's on steroid right now. It's hulked up. So when he said things that made the room uncomfortable, it wasn't by accident. He was signaling that truth doesn't give a fuck about the optics. And that's why his words even hit harder now in these days where we have social media and it's a 24-hour loop or whatever the fuck they want to show us. That's why we having a fight against the algorithm, because part of the fight against the algorithm is us. It's a mind change. If you cleared out all the bullshit that you see off your YouTube, off your whatever, and you started watching some different shit, you'll start seeing that type of topic. But then you'll start seeing what they push. Out of nowhere, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see the DJ academics and all them who literally don't have value in our culture. They're just here. They don't value that culture. And I use DJ academics because he's an immigrant, Jamaican immigrant. So of course he didn't value the culture when he came here, and he commodified what was going on in Chicago. He put it through a different lens that kind of made it cool. He kind of made and that shit wasn't cool. So when he sat in front of Vic Mensa on the Everyday Struggle, and Vic Mensa was talking to him, basically telling him what you doing ain't cool. Because Vic Mensa was on ground zero of that. You making these people who are committing these murders and people who are losing their lives into a struggle that kind of became popular. The op talk, Then on the other side, it made a way for all types of bullshit. So now when you see these bloggers you have to realize why they're there. It's only a handful that actually care about what's going on in our community and in our culture. That we hip hop. Every single one of us born in hip hop. We didn't choose. This wasn't a choice for us. That's what we are. Hip hop, in a sense, was born out of a struggle. And so now when you see people who have, quote unquote, the power in our culture, you have to ask yourself, who in the fuck gave them that power? And why do they have it? And why do they keep it? How can they keep it? It's dangerous. Because if you start to even ponder about, I wonder how many kids saw that Chirac Savages and all that, bullshit and so on and so forth, and thought, man, if I want to get popping, I gotta go catch me a hat. I gotta go get me a gun. You know what I'm saying? And it blossomed into what we're dealing with right now, where not just hip hop culture, but we're fucked. This monster, like I always go back to the analogy of we were always somebody else's entertainment. Like our pain was always somebody else's entertainment. I sat there and thought about, and I always bring up my pops. He's my last living parent. Rest in peace to my mother. My pops he's 81 years old. I'm 35. I'll be 35 next Thursday. My birthday. Come on now. Y'all throw me $1.50. You know what I'm talking about. but he's 81 years old. I'm about to be 35. Y'all do the math. So the era that I grew up in versus the era that he grew up in, he was there. He was a Black Muslim during those times. He was in the march. He witnessed all that. This man has spent 8 decades of life, 4,000 plus weeks on earth, still sound in his mind. You know what I'm saying? So he's teaching me these things, telling me these things. And it wasn't until a few years ago where these things started to gain context, what he was telling me about how they're shaping it. He was there with the whole Malcolm and Elijah Muhammad and all. He was in the midst of it. You feel what I'm saying? And all the stories that he tells me and how shit changed. He was in the 60s and 70s. He was around 20-something years old. He was born in 1943. So in the 60s and 70s, they put him around 20, 30, around the age I'm at now, that we at now, between 30 and 40, between, that age range right there. And how the culture shifted. So he's talking about how that shifted, who controls that, and at that time, how brand new it was. And how, on one hand, yeah, it was a great tool for the world to see what the fuck we was going through. But on the other hand, you got the real opposition, the real ops, was sitting back trying to figure out, we can find a way to squeeze in and manipulate and control what they see, the images of themselves. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why, like I said, his words hit harder now. Because in a time when most public discourse is sanitized, it's marketed, it's optimized for clicks. More than ever right now. Clicks and views, clicks and views, clicks and views. You gotta do this to get popping. You gotta do that to get popping. You gotta slander your brother. You gotta slander your sister to get popping. Ask yourself, why is that? Why can something like what we doing right now be flooding the airways and flooding the algorithm? Versus you can go on YouTube, you can start a brand new page and scroll down, you can find some niggas that ain't talking about a motherfucking thing. Flooded. Just this week, we saw an altercation go down with some YouTubers. Petty problems. Petty. Gunned down. We all said, niggas with a sound mind, we all said this shit was gonna happen. Not because we think we better than anybody else. I mean, don't get me wrong, we are better than some of these people. I ain't with all that humble shit. We are better than some of these human beings walking the earth because we think. We don't let what's going on govern our minds. You feel what I'm saying? But we seen that shit, and as I watched it, I'm like, damn, bro, like we've seen people get in the squabbles. Possibly, we just seen some of the worst shit over nothing. And these platforms don't give a fuck. I told you two or three videos ago that the algorithm has no soul. It has no morals. It doesn't. It don't fucking care. But he was on the ball with this one. And he was the antidote to that early on through comic strips. That's why I always tell my kids or your young kids, man, don't be afraid to put out whatever you're thinking. You don't have to put it out to the world, but just write. The greatest thing I ever did, and I praise my family for this, is that they always allowed me and my brother and my other siblings the expression, like the room for expression, the room for creativity, the room for imagination. I used to go to my pops and ask questions, and he'll give me part of the answer. Then he'll stop and then he'll say, "Now it's your turn." And I'm looking like, nigga, what you talking about? It's my turn. You know what I'm saying? He was saying it's your turn to go and seek that knowledge. So Aaron McGruder was the antidote for that early on. Early on. And boy, was he right.
The interesting thing when you talk about the media and they making us look bad. Well, one, please take responsibility for yourself, because, those are real black people up there looking bad. But two, it's really good to have these discussions with the media's doing this, the media's doing that. Well, guess what? Media's been doing the same thing for a minute, and they're going to keep doing it. So now that we've established that, we actually have to get into the very tough and unpleasant discussion of how to actually change the media. To that, you have to understand how the media works. You have to understand who these companies are that control everything you see and hear and read. You got to know about Viacom. You got to know about Sony. You got to know about News Corp, Disney, Bob Johnson. You have to understand the system that produces the images that you see. Many of us like to think it's a bunch of white people sitting around in a smoky room going, I wonder how to make black people look bad. I moved out to Hollywood about 4 years ago. And let me tell you, I wish it were that simple. But it is nowhere near that simple. The first thing to remember is that what drives this country is money and profit. Generally, most things that are going down today are going down because of money and profit. Absolutely. The wars, the peace, stocks, and every single TV show you watch. Believe me, what you see on television when you turn on CNN and you turn on MSNBC, that's entertainment. News is what people try to suppress. News is what they do not want you to know. What you're seeing is fun and games.
Fun and games. Fun and games. What you're seeing right now is fun and games. So this flows right into part 2. Political theater, cultural control, and the algorithmic plantation. Aaron McGruder didn't just warn us about who held the power, he showed us how it would evolve. While many celebrated progress, he questioned the puppeteer behind the curtain. He predicted that the stage would get bigger, the performances flashier, and the truth more dangerous to say out loud. So in this section, we examine how Aaron McGruder's ideas around political illusion and media control have come to life in the era of algorithms, content suppression, and cultural commodification. He did. One of Aaron McGruder's boldest claims in this speech was that Black America had been sold the illusion of choice. He pointed out that the allegiance to the Democratic Party had become reflexive, not strategic, and that neither side of the aisle had earned the level of loyalty that they enjoyed from Black voters. They didn't earn this shit. That threw a Batman smoke bomb. Y'all doing a Batman, threw the smoke bomb, threw it out there, get it out of here. Grapple. That's what they did. So the observation is more relevant now than it is ever. So today, political theater dominates our screens. We are bombarded with viral moments, choreographed outrage. Pay careful attention to what's going on out there in the West Coast. Carefully worded apologies, all designed to maintain the illusion of progress. And in this circus, truth telling is punished. Right now, if you tell the truth, it's punished. Back then, it was punished in a different way. You saw what they did to Malcolm. You saw what they did to Martin Luther King. You saw what they did to every Black leader that was making real progress. They killed them. Simple as that. Cut and dry. They killed them. And that's where Aaron McGruder's other point lands heavy. That the censorship has simply evolved. Simply evolved. I'm gonna get back to this speech real quick. Get right to it. We in motion right now. Real motion.
What you're seeing is what's put out there to keep you stupid. Now, I know that sounds really conspiratorial and all of that stuff, but let me tell you, I've been in Hollywood for 4 years now. I've been working in the newspaper industry for a bit longer. Information is controlled, absolutely on every level. And then I have these discussions and people go, oh, right. Like the White House is really calling people, telling newspapers, don't run this story. They are. The White House calls newspapers, the White House calls musicians. Are you going to put a video out? Nah, we don't think you should do that. Don't get it twisted. It's that controlled. Everything you see is there because someone wants you to see it. So you figure out how the system works, and then you figure out, well, what's motivating the people behind the system? Why do they want you to see certain things? Why do they want black people looking silly? Well, it's simple. I mean, how many people have seen The Matrix? How many people have seen the second Matrix? Well, you got to see the second Matrix. Dr. West is in the second Matrix. The point is that struggles used to be organized and planned a bit differently. You used to be able to go, and there were communities, there were institutions in the community. People would go to a church, or they would go someplace, they would organize, they would meet, the movement would build, the ideology would spread, and action would take place. Why doesn't that happen now? Because everyone's getting their information from mass media. 90%. It's coming from there. So if it's not on TV, it doesn't exist. It's irrelevant. I can't knock on your door and say, brother, sister, join the revolution. You will laugh at me. You're like, what the hell are you thinking? I'm not joining anything. Who are you? I'm calling the police. I was having an argument with some young people in Cuba about this very thing. Why is there no revolution in the United States? Why is there no armed revolution like we had in Cuba? Simple. Americans have television and drugs. We're a little comfortable. Actually, you know what? We're really comfortable. And black people, we have it bad, and we somewhat self-aware, but we don't have it so bad that we're ready to pick up a gun. We don't even have it so bad that we're ready to go to jail. I only have 15 minutes. There's a lot to talk about here. But if nothing else, take away that strategy at this point is critical. The eyes on the prize routine ain't gonna work. Times have changed. One must move on. There is a very close similarity between Hollywood and politics. The right wing knows it, the left wing does not. That's why we run people like Al Gore and Ralph Nader for president. And I voted for Ralph Nader. Because we don't understand that you gotta be a movie star in order to be elected president. Literally.
Just think about what we're seeing right now with who's in office. Now, back then, it was a foregone, whatever. But I think back then, I think he'll graze over it slightly that that was when Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor. So, like I said, man, I think, not that I think, but I know that now it's not a network executive that's pulling the plug on all this shit. It's an algorithm quietly muting your voice, our voice, the right voices. And because, a few of us, we sit in this space of content creation. The pros and cons of being a content creator is that everybody is a content creator at some shape, fashion, or form. It muddied it up. See, back then everybody didn't have the privilege to get on a microphone and do what we're doing right now. This right now is revolutionary off in itself. A few of us leak through. We gotta grind when we do shit like this. If I was on here shaking my dick in front of the camera, but this shit would blow up. doing some wild shit. It should have blow up. If I knocked the nigga out on camera, should have blow up. When I first got on the internet with this content, I'm gonna go through the whole Trill Pill story. I already said it plenty of times, but I often have to refer to it back to kind of frame what I'm doing. I started off just doing the podcast on Spotify. I didn't have no fancy laptop. I ain't had none of that shit. I was fresh from divorce, sad, depressed, and shit. Got a new apartment. All I had was my 2 tablets. Shit, I ain't even have furniture at the damn time. You know what I'm saying? I had furniture like 2 or 3 weeks later. TV, I ain't even have that. It was just me laying on a goddamn player pallet. You understand me? 3 big covers, laid them down. You know what I'm talking about? All my niggas know what a pallet is. You feel me? The player pallet. A composition book, pens, writing down what I want the Trill Pill to become, you know. And at first I was hesitating with it, but eventually I was like, you know what? After having conversations with my big brother Sean and my pops and my friends and everybody who poured into me in a positive way, I was like, you know what? Let me just do this shit. Sometimes when you in this path, you won't necessarily know where you're going, but you have to have a plan for it. A lot of niggas created a bunch of YouTube channels with no plan. That's why they out here just doing shit. And when you just doing shit, you just doing shit. Simple as that. So when I created the Trill Pill and all this shit, running through a myriad of emotions and ideas and energy and all that shit, I was writing down. I was just doing, I had did down there 40, maybe 30 episodes before I decided, you know what, let me try to make more visuals. At that point, I had a little more money. I was still working now. You know what I'm saying? I said, no, okay, let me go get a laptop now. Let me go get some equipment, go get a couch. You know what I'm talking about? The bed, the TV. You feel me? You know, let me go get that. Let me go get that. Started rebuilding myself. You know? Got on the internet. And in my mind, I'm thinking, this is YouTube. This is whatever, you know, the platforms. It's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's whatever. In my mind, I'm thinking like, man, maybe this would be cool if I can get out to more people and connect with more people on and try to paint them the vision, try to let them see my vision. I can't force my vision on nobody or force my type of content on nobody. That time I didn't know that shit. And I didn't know I was trying to force it, but I just was doing this shit. Yeah, I remember that Michael Jackson music video where he was stepping on a little path with little squares and it was lighting up. That's how I compare, you know, this path that we on as content creators trying to find our way. It's dark as shit. A lot of us really don't know. That's why I say it's important to have a plan, at least a little bit of a plan to kind of know what direction that you want to head in. I thought when I first started creating content, like, okay, there's a lot of other content creators. The mistake that I made was I thought everybody thought like me in this space. Boy, was I mistaken. I thought niggas was cool. I thought niggas was focused on the content. My focus has always been on the content. Always. In the midst of that, I kind of got lost a little bit, as we all do. Started, you know, doing shit just because, you know, I thought it was the thing to do as far as, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know. Like I said, this is a brand new space that you're getting into when you're creating content and you putting it out for the world to see. And like you said previously in the last minute or so of this speech, he was talking about how you can't just go up on the nigga door and, hey, We're talking about this mental health shit. We're talking about this revolutionary shit. We're talking about this different shit. Niggas gonna laugh at you like they laughed at me, like they still do. Playing. Now, I'm gonna refer back to what you seen happen on YouTube live the other day. Niggas playing, but everybody ain't playing. That's an extreme, but in this day and age, you have to be. You gotta drop your nuts. At a certain point through all that journey, I kind of took a step back, like, okay, I feel myself getting away from my goal. But because I made that plan, I was able to get back at it. And I said that to say this. He's gonna go into, if you remember the Boondocks, it was 4 seasons. That last season, season 4, he wasn't on that season. They fucked over him a little bit. And you can tell. You can tell. Movie star, people who popular. This nigga Donald Trump. And before I say this, I'm independent. I vote my interests. And if my interests are not up to par, or not up to par, but if my interests are not talked about or whatever, I just won't vote. Give a fuck. That's my American right. But superstars in political spots, like you said, you got to be a movie star. Donald Trump was somewhat of a cultural icon. This nigga is a WWE Hall of Famer. Everybody makes songs like Trump. You know what I'm saying? Liking Trump, using Trump as a reference to being a boss and all that shit. Tupac talked about Trump years ago. Saying shit exactly what's happening right now. You saw, and we can get back to the speech, but you saw who was in that front row when Trump was running. You know what I'm saying? This ain't, it wasn't nobody really important like that we thought was not important. Everybody up there was a controller of media. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, the nigga from Twitter, I forgot his name. Linda McMahon. Well, she all we know about Linda McMahon is getting hit with a steel chair being on WWF. I back when it was WWF. She don't know a damn thing about education. But you got to be a star to be in these spots, even now more than ever. That's why you seen Trump, like, he understood that, because that's what he was. He was a superstar, icon to some. And you see him parading around these rap stars. Then you seen the Harris campaign try to do the same thing, even though they gave it a short end of the stick. So like, hey, call Megan, let her get up, let her get her ass up here, shake some ass for the, hey, you do a little body, yada, for the goddamn Democrat. Gotta be a star. We fucked up. We so fucked up. Let's get back to it.
Really. And now you got to be a movie star to be elected governor of California. Ralph Nader is not the most charismatic guy. But you know what? Neither was Bush the first. How many people remember the first Bush? There we go. Well, Bush number 1 was this nerdy guy that nobody liked. He didn't have any charisma. He had a lot of power. But he really wasn't very photogenic. He just wasn't that guy. So they said, okay, we're going to stick you with Reagan. Reagan was a movie star. Everybody liked Reagan, at least everybody white. Reagan made white people feel good. Bush, nobody really cared about him. But he knew that the only way he was going to get to the White House was behind Reagan. Maybe it's a coincidence that right after he got in office, somebody tried to kill Reagan. I don't know. That would be a conspiracy. I don't get into conspiracy theories. But the point is that Ralph Nader does not need to be running for president. And thankfully this year he's not. Why? Image. Be smart enough to understand that it's image. If you're Ralph Nader, you don't run for president. Ralph Nader's the nerdy guy from high school you wouldn't hang out with. That's who Ralph Nader is. If you're Ralph Nader, you find a really good-looking guy who's articulate and handsome, and you tell him what to say. And he gets elected president. That's strategy. That's just taking that extra step. Like, you know what? Is it superficial? Yes. Is it silly? Yes. But it matters. I'm going to say this here because it's so important. Al Sharpton's haircut matters. It matters. Because he's running for president. It matters. Should it matter? No. But you know what? It does. That's image. Don't be naive about the power of mass media and the power of image. It controls more than you think. I sell angry black politics to 20 million white people a day. How do I do it? Because they're cute. That's it. That's the long and the short of it. If I drew characters that actually look like Huey P. Newton and Louis Farrakhan, I would be drawing this strip in my basement. Nobody would have ever seen it. I said, wow, I wonder what happens if you just take the politics that mainstream America hates and put it in a really cute package. How do they handle it? Hey, I'm seen by 30 million people on Sunday alone. Image. We often complain about black culture, how negative it is. We talk about rappers. We talk about, all the stuff when we talk about the objectification of women. We talk about the nihilism. We talk about all of this stuff. And these are all valid critiques. But one thing I know from the few rappers I do know, a lot of these guys who may not be the most positive guys, they are very serious about the business of entertainment in a way that a lot of the goody guys are not.
So this kind of rolls in to part 3. But before I get to part 3, all right. Him kind of explaining how he was able to do what he did. This is what I would call finessing the algorithm. Trying to find creative ways to put out meaningful content. He just said how he packaged it with the characters, what the characters mean. Black creators today, at this moment, we are experiencing digital silencing under the guise of community guidelines, quote unquote. And friendliness, quote unquote. Niggas are scared to say white people, but they still say nigga. It's kind of like a nigga who everybody know a nigga, how we, grew up around. Everybody knows some street niggas. Boy, them niggas will be body to go ride on Yeah, we gonna go ride on them. We gonna go slide on them niggas. But when the cops come, oh, everybody shut the fuck up. Shit cowardly, dog. Digital silencing under the guise of community guidelines and ad friendliness. I would even say digital redlining. Radical thought, especially around anti-capitalism, police brutality, or even systemic racism, is often demonetized or shadow banned. Often. One of these days, I'm gonna show y'all on the main page. The main page ain't making no money, but I don't give a fuck about it. I don't give a fuck. If you know me for a cool man, you know I don't give a fuck. You know, in my opinion, I just have to let me just find a creative way, a more jazzier way to kind of, you know, that's where the creative part comes into the content creator. That's why I'm on these niggas' necks at all times, even with 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 views. I'm on their motherfucking neck. And they know it. They know. The other day, and I tell you all the time how I be in these chats. Sometimes I'm on all bullshit, but I'm on bullshit for the purpose. I'm studying. I'm analyzing. You understand what I'm saying? Heard a content creator that we all know over here on this side say, yeah, Trip Hill, he really got some good shit over there. But he only getting 3 views. He only getting that. Cool. Bet that. See, when I like, my whole thing is this. Because of how I was raised, when somebody said, hey, I need you to do this, I don't, for sure. If I really fuck with you, for sure. For sure, for certain. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like we got fucked over in our culture with this whole the game is to be so rude and not to be told. That was bullshit. We got sold all these weird ass. I don't know where that shit came from. That shit only that fucked us over a whole lot. As if niggas is trying to do something different. Everybody ain't trying to do the same shit. We all want to blow up shit. Wait. You feel what I'm saying? But niggas is stupid. It's crab in a bucket, like crab in a bucket type of mentality that keep niggas behind. Box niggas. You know, I can remember even moving around through these, you know, I never liked the term sector. I don't like anything that boxes me in, especially I don't like being around niggas that I didn't choose to be around. You know what I'm saying? And I can compare it to if you riding in a whip, it's you and your partners. Let's just say it's me, it's Ashley, it's I'm on one. We riding in the goddamn whip. One of us hop out and see a nigga that we don't like. We hop out. We gun them down. One of us hop out and gun them down. Let's just say me, I use me. I hop out and I gun them. I gun niggas down. When we get caught, because goddamn, we getting caught. When we get caught, Ashley and I'm on one will still get time just because they was in the whip associated with me doing this shit. That's how I view this shit in a sense. A lot of niggas need other niggas to exist. I've never been a nigga, and you can ask anybody I grew up with, I'm always gonna be myself in any atmosphere. That's why I get the love that I get. Fuck the internet. The love that I get when I go back to the crib. Not because I was some extra tough guy. I was a good, you know, I wasn't no, you know. Square. My friends never tried to peer pressure me into nothing that they know I wasn't involved in because that's not my stilo. I'm gonna go to school. You know, do my thing. Try to talk to some girls. You know what I'm saying? My mouth getting dry. Hold up. Talk to some girls. You feel me? Do my thing. Go on home. But the respect that I get, the love that I get, is priceless. I can go anywhere, stand anywhere with anybody. I love my niggas to death. And no matter what road we all chose, it don't fucking matter. I think we all was happy to see each other alive because we know how hard it is being from South Dallas, Texas, being from these poverty-stricken neighborhoods, 5 to 8 to 10% below the poverty line. We know how hard it is. My mama and my daddy, they try to keep me as sheltered as possible, but I'm in South Dallas. I'm a product of my environment. I seen shit I wasn't supposed to see. Been around niggas I probably wasn't supposed to be around. Done did some shit I ain't had no fucking business doing. It's part of my experience. It's part of the culture. But I've never understood the internet shit. And a lot of us don't really understand it because I don't think it's meant to be understood. It just is. Some things just are. But when it comes to this content, all this shit that we're talking about, everything I done talked about, a lot of this shit stepped on. The internet is the new plantation. The internet is where labor, creativity, and culture are once again extracted from Black minds. But the truth is buried beneath virality and brand safety. Community guidelines, but niggas be shook with community. I don't give a fuck about no community guidelines. My life is monetized, nigga. I'm gonna always go get some motherfucking money regardless. It's who I am. I'm bust my ass. I put the grind in. I work 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Come home, shit, shower, shave, cook me a little grub, and go in on my shit. Probably get 3, 4 hours, you know what I'm saying, of sleep, but it's work. I do it effortlessly. Goddamn. And I'll be lying to you if I say I don't want to be I don't want to say famous, but more recognized for my works. But I don't look at it as anybody owes me nothing. What this Black man on the podium just told you was he had to find a way to package up his thoughts and what he learned and what he wanted to do. And that's the challenge. In my opinion, that's the fun part. The fun part of being a content creator is trying to find creative ways to do what the fuck you trying to do.
Understand that no matter what message you have, you better be captivating your audience first, or nobody's going to listen. You know, when I was in high school, 1988 to 1992, roughly, hip-hop wasn't where it is today. It wasn't bitches, it wasn't hoes. There was a lot of niggas, but, you know. The self-destructive nature of where hip-hop is today, it wasn't there. It was actually cool then to be smart. There was like a sort of pro-black nationalism, Pan-Africanism thing happening in the culture around that time. And it was cool. Yeah, it was a fad, and like every fad, it passed. But it was cool in that moment in time to be a conscious black individual. Why? Because these people were also serious about the business of making good music, of being entertaining. Yes, we have problems with the gangster rappers of the world. Yes, we can make valid intellectual critiques of what they do. But you know what? They make hits. The Black Eyed Peas are corny. No.
Hold on, I think I was on mute for that last for this part right here. But the wildest part about the Boondocks is it wasn't just ahead of its time; it was the future. Episodes written as parody became reality. The characters once viewed as exaggerated stereotypes now walk among us. But the cost of truth telling has only grown. In this final part, you know, we're going to explore how Aaron McGruder's art and his exit and his unfiltered speech serve as a mirror to today's social movements. And we also going to ask the uncomfortable question of what happens when the cartoon was the only thing telling the truth. You know, Aaron McGruder, his genius wasn't just in his ability to observe, but it was also it was in his willingness to say the thing out loud and how he used it. He used satire as a scalpel to dissect racism, respectability politics, and the contradictions within Black culture. But as the Boondocks grew in popularity, something began to shift, you know? Something began to shift. The machine that once gave him the platform slowly started to sanitize, and they started to clean him up. They started to, you know, hunker down on. They started to figure out, okay, you know, yeah, he bringing in 30 million viewers on a Sunday, and you know these getting rewatch value out the ass. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But by the time Aaron McGruder, he exited the series before season 4, because it was clear that something had been lost. He got low because he figured it out that, okay, they own to me a little bit. And before they can find a way to, now this was his baby. Can you imagine creating something? He was in college. Can you imagine creating a comic strip that was so captivating and found ways to do this shit, and all of a sudden, you know, it turns from a comic strip and it goes into a live animated series, and it's so important. And then you go through 3 seasons flawlessly. You bringing in immense amounts of money to these to the platforms. And I wonder what he saw to make him dip, to leave his baby. Now, you know, the mirror was cracked at that point. The bite was gone. The first 3 seasons, the Boondocks touched on everything without asking. That's why it was so captivating, because it was real. But that mirror was cracked, though. The jokes was safer. And what was once a revolutionary voice in in content and animation, like so many things in Black media, a product familiar faces, but empty messages. And in that moment, it kind of served as a larger metaphor for what's happened to Black art and Black thought and Black resistance in general. Aaron McGruder's his exit from season 4 from the Boondocks, his baby, his creation. The nigga thought that out, drew that out. Him and the crew, gathered the crew, Carl Jones and several others. Like even the most powerful critiques, cultural critiques, are vulnerable to co-option. The episodes of the Boondocks that once seemed absurd now play out daily on the timeline. Whether it's R. Kelly fans defending him in court, white influencers co-opting Black culture for profit, white influencers co-opting Black culture for profit, or white influencers co-opting Black culture for profit. The Adam 22, the 1090 Jakes, these niggas that we don't, who is these niggas? How did a white boy from Massachusetts, go to the West Coast and in the back of a bike store start to have a hold on Black culture? The Vlads and all them. Like, everybody you see up there, they had a little photo of all the niggas that were talking about, this the powerful hip hop culture. Look at that shit. Look who you see. Fuck niggas. Every single one of them. I come from an era where we had XXL, Source, Ozone was real big in the South, and other Black publications. Jet, remember Jet magazine, Essence. And when them writers was in them writing rooms and they were writing them articles, it felt different. It felt powerful because they were really hands-on, boots on the ground. It meant something to pen that. And slowly but surely they quieted all that shit down. So the white influencers co-opting Black culture for profit or performative allyship during Black History Month. Hey, we're with you. Fucking Walmart got Juneteenth ice cream and shirts and shit. You know what I'm saying? Little shit like that during, but that show didn't just predict the future. It documented the present before the rest of us were even ready to fucking see this shit. You feel me? We're gonna get back to the speech though. It's almost over. Talk to me.
Let's just be honest. They're corny. And look, I really like the fact that they don't talk about all the things. They don't talk about ICE and they don't talk about, Bentleys and all. But you know what? I don't listen to them because they're corny. And you cannot move Black people if you're corny. Black people are not checking for you if you're corny. Is that right? No. Is it fair? No. Is it kind of silly and superficial? Maybe. But tough. That's the world you live. It's okay to be positive, but still be good. We face this question a lot when you're in Hollywood. Positive Black entertainment. And I'm all for positive Black entertainment. But again, don't be boring, don't be corny. Find out how to reach your audience and reach them. That's the sophistication that is needed. There's a million Black people standing around on a street corner talking politics, and nobody's listening. Nobody. There's a bunch of people with websites writing about conspiracies and writing about what Black people need to do. It doesn't matter. The rules have changed. You want to have an impact? Reach people. You want to reach people? It is not easy, but you better figure out a way to do it. And if that means figuring out a way to get into government and breaking these monopolies so that there's actually competition, great. If that means starting a black network to compete with BET and get in 50, 60 million homes, great. But you better think of something. Because pretty soon the 90% that they control is going to be 95, and then it's going to be 99. The type of media control that we're facing now, the impact is staggering on us, black people. We really like to think of ourselves as the most creative geniuses on the planet, right? What the hell is so creative about 13 years of gangster rap? Nothing in rap music has changed in about 13 years. And we're supposed to be so brilliant. We're supposed to be, we feel ourselves on that. Everyone follows us. Yeah, they following us straight to hell. For real. You don't have the luxury of mistakes. Don't have it. Everything you do has to be right. Everything. Now, when it is right, people are so amazed because the expectations of you are so low that you will really be able to achieve amazing things just by having your stuff together. Show up on time, and people are astounded. They are astounded. Should the expectations of black America be so low? No. Is it fair? No. Is it right? No. But that's what it is. That's image. Right now, our image is that of lazy, stupid people that never show up on time. So you know what? Show up on time. Break the mold. Understand not only what the world thinks of you, understand what you think of yourself, and understand who's controlling these images. When I was in high school, Queen Latifah was a black revolutionary. Now she's, bringing down the house. That's a big difference. Now, the Queen Latifah, who was a black revolutionary, was broke. Bringing down the house, Queen Latifah's rich. They call her Dana now. I really want you guys to understand that time is running out. And a lot of black people say that, but for real. Part of why the civil rights movement has been so successful, and part of why those who have come after in terms of our leadership have been able to maintain a presence, is that black people have always had a certain amount of moral currency that we have been using. And let me be the first to tell you, that's used up. White America has been watching us act like fools for a long enough time where any sympathy they may have had to our plight is completely gone. You're approaching a country that, forget hating black people or not hating black people, they just don't care. You can be talking about affirmative action, they can be like, I don't care. It literally is of no importance to me. I don't care about slavery, I don't care about segregation, I don't care about you, I don't care how many of you all go to jail, I don't care at all, because I'm broke. You can't be the proud, noble fighter when every single time someone sees a person that looks like you on television, they're acting like a damn fool. How would they know? How would they know you're not a damn fool? They're gonna talk to you? Yeah, right. This is what we're facing. Now, this was not a very motivational speech because I'm not a motivational speaker. I gotta be honest. So wait. That don't matter to me. I'm a critic. That's what I do for a living. I'm not here to tell you you can do it, because you know what? Maybe you just can't do it. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I hope you can do it. I hope to God you can do it. You better do it. Because if you don't, will you suffer? Yeah. But oh, your kids are gonna catch hell. You guys are it. Don't think about Jesse, don't think about Al. They will not be there. And quietly, well, let me stop. It's on you. This is about as uplifting as I get. It's on you. It's going to be hard. You better do it. And if you don't, I'm moving to Cuba. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Y'all give Aaron McGruder some love.
Simple as that. Hell of a speech, man. Hell of a speech. Hell of a speech. Damn. I watched this shit a whole lot. And I had to, watch this shit 3-4 times just to even get ready for this show. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear it, it just rings something off of me, because shit, if we was in that room, he talking to us. That's who he talking to. Everybody in that room, majority of people in that room are children. They was 13, 14, 15, in their adolescence. And I would love to try to find one of the people who was in that room. I'm pretty sure they're adults now. We all around the same age, and see what they thought and see what they did with that information. But as we all know, I'm gonna keep it just as real as he kept it. That truth, this shit gets lost in the scrolls, man. Trust me, I know it wouldn't be a better person for you to say this, for me to say this. That truth gets lost in the scroll. The vision that I had when I first started this shit is the same vision I have now, but it has a lot more reality wrapped in it, because I wasn't the passion, the purpose part, no problem. It's effortless. It's effortless. As you can see with this platform and how it's grown and how it looks, everything is placed for a reason. That icon that you see on the screen, it's there for a reason. The name is there for a reason. The meaning behind the name, the origin behind the name Trill. It ain't just because it sounds cool. I mean, it do sound fly as shit, but it's a culture that we grew up in. When Bun and Pimp, and you would hear Bun say the origins of the word Trill on Drink Champs, it was something that was in their neighborhood, and they latched on to it. They would always say it, and they kind of created this. And if you watch Bun has been a professor, very intelligent. Pimp C, God rest his soul, very intelligent. He was unapologetic about what the fuck he was saying. Wasn't always right, but he was always with all the shit. A lot of things that he said now is right here too. You see what happened to him too. See what happened to Pop. And many others. Prince, see what happened to him. This shit didn't change one bit. So that's season 4 when he wasn't there. Right? We'll get to that in a minute. But that truth gets lost in the scrolls. And it's not that people stop caring, it's that they got overwhelmed, in my opinion. And we live in a time where every day is a new fucking crisis. Every week is a new fucking headline, a new trauma trend. Every week, a new trauma trend. Now everybody's using the terms, using these, when I remember when shit, as I first started creating, this shit in the platform and the foundation of it, because I'm expanding on it as we speak, is mental health became trendy. And although that's a great thing, but it's pros and cons to everything. Now niggas is misusing terms. They calling everybody narcissistic and all this and all. You niggas just don't even know what the fuck. They didn't do the science on none of that shit. So, excuse me, the Boondocks gave us clarity through laughter, right? But now even laughter has been swallowed up by virality. So we're in an era where the activism is a filter aesthetic. Pain is content. Woke is a marketing campaign. See, that's why I say, these corporations will sell you the image of change, the illusion of change, the illusion of all this shit, as long as you don't actually change anything. That's why we get diversity campaigns, but not reparations. That reparation talk get real sticky. When we're talking about reparations, but they paid it to everybody else. Right. I'm a witness of that too. I had my children with the woman who is part Creek Indian in Oklahoma. Got the CDIB cards, all that shit. First time I went out to Muggy, I seen that shit. Damn, they got everything out here for you. Don't get it twisted. The shit's beautiful, and I'm blessed that my kids benefit from it. They're Black and Creek. They Black for shit show, but they're recognized as Creek as well. I see that shit. Housing, food, loan opportunities, just opportunities. Give it to them. 5 civilized tribes, and once you out here in Oklahoma or anywhere that has, but Oklahoma is the centerpiece for that because it's recognized. Fighting over jurisdictions, that Supreme Court case with McGruder changed a lot of shit. I think it's McGruder. It changed a lot of shit. I currently live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they was fighting for jurisdiction. Did get caught. No matter what the nigga did, get caught. If it's proven that he's have some native blood in it and it's recognized, it's a whole different. That's a whole different ball game. The city has to, what I'm saying? They fighting for jurisdiction. They fighting for that casino money. That's a different story on a different day, but at least they have the opportunity. What do we have? Holidays. Bullshit. The illusion of change, but there ain't shit motherfucking change. This system, that's why we got, there's this Black trauma movies. We watched that. I watched the BET Awards for a little bit, and I was watching the part with Tyler Perry was something about the speech and Black. He's. Why you think he's the king of that shit? Why you think he done got so much money? It's because he learned what they taught him. He learned that shit. He learned how to pull the heartstrings of Black women, of Black people, but especially Black women. Same way the government uses our women used our women to fracture Black household. Last video, I went over the Monahan report, case of the Negro family. Fine combed through that shit. Didn't get all the way what I wanted to get out of it, but for time's sake, but I'm gonna get back to it. Go read that. The Monahan report by David Patrick Monahan. This is written in 1965, in the heart of that shit. The system benefits off our trauma. Like I just said earlier in this shit, we was always the source of entertainment. They used to hang us. They used to lynch us. And lynch was an event. They got pictures of this shit. I want to show the pictures because, you know, I tried that one day, but they got me out of here quickly, with the quickness, with the fastness. Wow, emails. It's like, damn, nigga, this shit only get viewed by 5 people, but the more they seen it, the more they say, hey, I'm working on some other shit, but yeah. This was an event. Think about it. My dad is 81 years old. So his grandparents, he was born in 1943. His grandparents was. So my direct connection to those times is not far. And that's rare in my generation. It's rare. It's rare. I'm able to pull from a different pool of knowledge than a lot of my peers are. That's why some of my shit sounds different. I try to mix it in with, my shit, but sometimes, man, you can't put a bracket on what's real, what's not. All this shit is fugazi, poo cheese. So Black drama is $1 billion, maybe $1 trillion business. If you added all that shit up, all them movies, all that bullshit. Tyler Perry next movie, he said it's gonna be called Divorced Sisters. So you know what that's gonna do? That's gonna do numbers. Numbers. You know why? We ain't gotta go into that. But the system has learned how to wear the costume of rebellion while maintaining control. And the Boondocks was trying to tell us just that. So with him gone, the Boondocks reboot stalled indefinitely. We still asking for the Boondock reboot. That shit won't happen. Boy, if they put the Boondocks back on TV with what's going on right now, boy. So the space that he carved out remains mostly empty. And although there are more Black voices in media now, but few of them are allowed to challenge everything. And that's what Aaron McGruder did. He interrogated the state. He interrogated the culture. He interrogated the family, the church, the artist, as well as himself. Nothing was off limits. And that level of radical honesty and honor is rare today because it doesn't sell well. It doesn't trend. Y'all remember when Charleston White was talking about, Charleston White, he said a lot of shit. And I'm blessed with the gift of compartmentalize. I think a few of us are blessed with that gift to kind of pick and pull what we get. Because so many people that's how they have to mix and mesh in. Like Aaron McGruder was just saying, he had to mix and mesh that shit in. He couldn't just put it on your front doorstep. He had to make the shit look cute and packaged. And, that's the struggle. That's the fun part. That's the hard part. The challenging part is trying to make this shit look good. This shit hard to look good, but that's where the content creator really. That's when the creative part jumps out. That's why I'm able to tell these niggas, bitch, you ain't no content creator. You ain't really no creator. Like you, quote unquote, but you're not that because you don't put the work in. But at the same time, I get it. Because they'll tell me what what you doing is cool, Trill Pill, but you're not able to monetize that shit. Now, I would bounce back and saying that's a motherfucking lie. Have found ways to monetize my content beyond digital content. Things that I keep close to me and close to people that really care about me. I find my ways. That's just a South Dallas in me. That's that hustler's ambition. I'm gonna find a way. That's why I say shit. My content is made for the hustlers and the scholars, because a hustler's gonna find a creative way to make that bread. He gonna find a way to get what he got to get off without, you know. The scholars gonna really get in there and really crack the book open and look and read and decipher and discern everything around them. The lens is just different. So the hustlers and the scholars gonna always be the audience. And like you said, the struggle is finding your people. That's been my struggle, is finding the people. But that's where the creative part comes in. You gotta find a fucking way. Like you just said, you gotta find a motherfucking way to get to them people. Cut and dry, just like that. And nothing was off limits with him at all. But like I was saying back to the Charleston White point, Charleston White was talking about how when he was clean cut and wearing a tie, I remember he had them little braids and clean cut, wearing the suits, going and, you know, standing in the town hall meetings and shit like that. He was like, yeah, that shit was cool, but he wasn't getting them paid. He was like, fuck it, I gotta get paid. I gotta get on bullshit because that's the only way niggas gonna listen. And a lot of people, you know, Charleston White is very polarizing. And at first, I was a tough critic of that. But the more and more I kept creating content, the more and more I put out beautiful shows. I'm looking at the shit like, damn, sometimes it's not you. It is you. Sometimes it's not. It's having to find the right people to consume this shit, because this ain't for everybody. And that was my biggest mistake when I first started this shit. Everybody should know the Trail Pill content. It's about mental health, and it's all, yeah, hey, when you're mental, oh, yeah, all that shit was, you know, niggas wasn't receiving it because number one, it's foreign. Outside of kindergarten, when they ask you, how do you feel today? Happy face, straight face, bad face. Beyond that, we don't get talked. We don't have talks and constant talks in these systems about mental health. They wait until some kids die of suicide or some shit like that happens when it, now you want to talk about when kids is dying, but you don't want to talk about it when they're alive. Fuck when they, like, why wouldn't you want to put a little game in a young man or a young woman and put that little, you know, bug in their brain about taking care of themselves mentally before they get to that point? Why wouldn't you want to try your damnedest to equip them with the tools so when they go through something, because we all know, we all live life, we're gonna go through some shit that is gonna fuck us up. My mama died in 2012. I was in Langston University. She passed away on her birthday on February the 10th, 2012. That was her birthday. A full, complete life, full circle. She was 55 years old. Everything happened like the wake, the funeral, Raining hard that day. As we leave in Terrell, Texas, it's raining. It's raining motherfucking cats. I'm like, when I say it was raining, I mean it was raining motherfucking cats and dogs. You hear me? I get back to school. I didn't process shit, but when I went to go ask for help, there was no help available. Fucked up. Why? I guarantee if I was going to Oklahoma State, if I was going down the road at Central Oklahoma or somewhere else, it would have been available, but it wasn't available at the only HBCU in Oklahoma, the westernmost HBCU in the country. It wasn't available at that time. I went through a weird phase, and I tell people all the time, like, I tried to drink it away, I tried to pill pop it away, I tried to smoke it away, I tried to fuck it away. That feeling wouldn't go. By the grace of God and my family and my friends, I had to pull my own self up by the goddamn me bootstraps. You feel me? And get on my own road, and that's why we're here today doing this. That's what led me here. It's not available. So why wouldn't you want to put that into a kid's brain? I was 22 years old with a baby. She was 3 years old. Trying to balance all that shit, and that's why I knew it was a problem. That's when I found out, like, oh my God, bro, I'm not equipped. I wasn't equipped to see the person that poured into me and my brother and so many people in our community that live close in the community. I wasn't equipped to see her body cold in a casket. I wasn't equipped for that at all. You ain't never ready for that shit until it fucking happened. Then you gotta deal with that shit. Friends passing away at the same time. My grandmother passed away years, like my uncle, like it's so much shit. So why wouldn't we want to equip them kids to get them ready for that once we know now? Once we know now, it's one thing we don't know. But once you know, you'll be a fool not to pass that down. The question we got to ask ourselves is, what are we willing to lose to keep telling the truth? I ask myself that all the time. All the time. If I can pop my brain open and let y'all see what's going on inside of here, I ask that question to myself all the time. Every fucking day I wake up and think about this content shit and what's going on and how I'm trying to carve my own way into this shit. That's the question. Damn, what the fuck are we willing to lose? I put out thousands of videos. I got a whole catalog full of shit. Just for a fuck nigga to tell me it ain't important because it don't get no views. Fuck the views. That's why I'm still able to pop my shit. It's fuck niggas, and then we're gonna get into the shit in the future about them niggas. I got a whole montage of fuck niggas questioning me about what I need to do and how I gotta do it. I don't listen to them because you can't tell me what to do because you're not doing this shit. If I wanted to act a motherfucking fool, I could do that easily. Simple. But I don't. My purpose is different. It's just different. You know? So what are you willing to lose to keep telling the truth? Aaron McGruder, he once made a cartoon that punched up at every structure, meant to keep us confused. He showed us the hypocrisy. He showed us the fear and the absurdity, and that the system that thrives on all three, the fear, hypocrisy, and the absurdity, that it feeds on when it comes to us and our culture. But if we truly live in the Boondocks now, then the only way forward is to stop laughing for a second and start listening to what he was really saying. Stop mistaking representation for freedom. Stop confusing popularity for the truth. Stop letting the algorithms dictate your rebellion. Because if the revolution is ever going to be real, it can't just look like the Boondocks. It kind of has to think like it too. You did? And to wrap this up, the truth was never supposed to be comfortable. So Aaron McGruder didn't make cartoons. He made coded warnings. He didn't give us comfort. He gave us critique. His C-SPAN speech wasn't just a moment in time. It was a blueprint for the cultural chaos that we live in right now. He saw the wave of performative progress coming. He also saw the limits of representation, the seduction of clout, and the way that truth gets softened for mass consumption. While others were building brands, he was building a mirror, and it reflected us back to our most uncomfortable angles. And today, that mirror is still there. It's cracked, it's dismissed, ignored, but still accurate. So if we want to honor what Aaron McGruder stood for, we can't just quote him. We can't just meme his characters and romanticize his legacy. We have to think like him, critically, fearlessly, relentlessly. Because the truth didn't go out of style. It just went out of circulation. And it's on us to bring it back. It's on us to bring it back. One of my favorite songs, I listen to this shit damn near every day. Rest in peace, DG YOLO. Ain't gonna let up. In the beginning of the second verse, we all know it. He said, I just don't give a fuck because I'm all out with it. The game ain't dirty. It's just the niggas in it. The game ain't dirty. It's just the niggas in it. That's what we living in right now. You respect the game by the rules that's being, by the rules that come with it. Like Aaron McGruder said, this shit is what it is. Nothing you can do about it, but there is something you can do about it. If that makes any sense. We're not asking no more. Aaron McGruder stood on a stage that was built for appeasement and chose rebellion. He warned us about the wars that was built on lies, about the black leaders who serve white power, and the dangers of being too scared to tell the truth. And he told the truth before it was popular, before it was retweetable, before corporations could package it into a campaign. And this is a world where the authenticity is algorithmically policed, and radical thought is labeled extremism. And we need the spirit of Aaron McGruder more than ever. So this whole show is not just a tribute to his speech. It's a call to pick up where he left off. Because as long as injustice hides behind polished speeches or profitable silence, we need people brave enough to speak like Aaron McGruder did, unfiltered, unafraid, and unbought. Simple as that. Believe me when I say this shit, boy, this shit tough. Let me bring you into the trail put where just a little bit we can close this shit out. We right on time with everything we gonna do. That's God. That's the vibe right there. You understand me? Don't need no book for that. Born with it. I gotta be damn near batshit crazy to keep doing this shit and be giving the response that I'm giving every time. I be putting out platinum shit. Can't no nigga tell me different from what I'm putting out. Can't no nigga tell me different. That's why I pop my shit to these niggas, because I'm able to. I don't know. I'm different. I've been different my whole life. Niggas will tell you that I grew up with a nigga been different his whole life. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I was raised with. I was raised to be different. I was raised to use my imagination, use my creativity, use the expression of art through any way I see possible. I teach my children the same. It's difficult. And I understand that. And that's what I had to understand what niggas is really saying when they say true, but nobody want to hear that shit. They ain't just saying that. They saying that shit hard, bro. I can be on bullshit and get all the numbers, but I ain't trying to grind like that. Like, not everybody is made to do this shit, fam. Niggas can't touch, can't fuck with a piece of what I'm doing. And I know that. And they know it too. Believe me. They know it too. Another part of his speech was what made his words unforgettable wasn't just the controversy in it, it was the clarity. It was rare, captivating. It's a rare sound of an unfiltered Black voice refusing to bow to respectability, politics, celebrity decorum, or corporate interest. He dipped low. He abandoned his baby. That Boondocks was his. He built that out of his own motherfucking mind, dog. Sitting in the dorm room at the University of Maryland, he started putting that pen to paper. He pimped the pen. Got it up there, 30 million, all these million views, and then season 4, he get up out of there. Dave Chappelle dipped too. Remember, he dipped and people like, oh, that nigga stupid. It's $50 million. You don't know what that $50 million come with. He knew what it come with. I mean, like I said, this shit is right there for us to feast on. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot that's going on. And I was saying that the other day on my IG story, rather this morning, is I've never been clearer in my mind. The clarity I have in my mind is these last 2-3 years, I finally feel like I'm gotten back to myself. To be able to think clear, to be able to speak clear as possible, to be able to formulate an idea or an interest into content is difficult for some because they've been robbed of their creativity. In this day and age, it's hard to shut shit off. Our whole life is on our fucking phone. 24-hour loop of constant shit. 95, maybe 98% of that shit, we're just not important. Like he was saying about that 95% eventually gonna turn 99%. That was back in that was back in 2003 when this speech was. You can find other speeches that other speeches and interviews where he talks about this as well. And just doing my research and doing my due diligence, man, I aspire to be that and greater. It ain't too many niggas that's gonna get in front of a microphone and do shit like this because this shit hard. This shit tough. It's not sexy enough yet. I gotta find a way to make it sexy. And I'm finding ways to make it sexy. I check my analytics every fucking day. One thing I can say about this shit is I've never taken any steps back. From the time that I started, I've always gained. I've always celebrated my small wins, regardless of what niggas say. I've tried my damnedest to say, hey, I need help with this. Can you help me with that? I've gotten an inkling and a piece of conversation that was had about me, not around me, but about me, about what I do and how I do it. Fuck niggas get frustrated when they can't figure out know what to do. What the fuck we gonna do? Why? How is this nigga Trip Pill still around? Why is he still around? He ain't getting this. He ain't getting that. You don't know what I'm getting. Only what you can see. A part of that, I'm gonna give you the whole shebang. You feel me? But I'm gonna give you a part of that because I'm Trill, nigga. You understand me? This shit don't come as no show. This shit don't just, I can't wake up and put this shit on, man. This shit was, you know, some niggas are just born with it. You gotta be born with shit like this. You can't, it's different. It's just different. That's why I'm still here. Obviously for a reason. Obviously, part of the problem is me still being here. Having to learn how to expand my platform and put it on different. We live on 3 platforms right now. How to expand it. Different ways I can do it. Let me find images from, you know, I got a way to do it through music too, but I can't do it on YouTube. They gonna, do whatever. But it's shit that's in the tuck. Like I just started. I didn't just start my page because somebody was talking shit and I had to get my shit back. No, this shit come with a purpose and a meaning. That's why it's cemented. Aaron McGruder didn't just, I'm not comparing myself to him, but I can definitely relate to the struggle of being a Black content creator in these spaces where, especially right now, this shit is hectic, bro. Right now, gender wars is popping. Acting a goddamn fool is popping, and some other shit, some freak shit is popping. We don't let niggas slide for some of the most heinous shit. And once one of us say, hey, that shit is weird, my nigga, because we operate on old law. That shit is strange. Niggas will say, nigga, shut the fuck up. We don't want to, you. It's hard being the light. And for other people that's in the same spot as me, it's hundreds of millions of people who just like me, who just right in this room, with whatever we got going on, that's experiencing the same thing. And trying to find these people buried beneath all this shit. This shit tough, bro. I'm having a squabble, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? I'm having a squabble. The Booty Warrior, one of the most goddamn memorable Boondocks characters created off of Fleece Johnson. The Booty Warrior's out here doing numbers, nigga. Niggas a rapist. He doing 20v1s with some other weird niggas. Niggas is a rapist, dog. And he's sick. But he getting numbers, though. I seen another clip of a video. I think the nigga name is Mike Adlaboo. Whatever his name is, I think it's Mike Adlaboo. He got 20, everybody got 20v1s, but he be having the ones with Lil Woody and Pauls. And he also had that sick shit he did with the little kids, little RT, had them little babies up there. Them parents brought their baby up there to be. I went off about that shit on Twitter. And several thousand people did too. He's still able to move and groove. That shit still monetized on YouTube. He done made thousands of dollars off this shit. The parents still, like, it's kind of like the R. Kelly shit. Like, the parents brought, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird, bro. This shit weird. It's weird to me. This space is weird to me, but I also understand that the one thing I didn't understand when I first started was who my enemy was. Who my real ops was. I don't have no ops that is humans. My opposition is the system that uses us to do this shit. Niggas see DJ Academic do the shit that he did. Now everybody want to talk about this is the war in Dallas. This is the war in Birmingham. This is the war in Jacksonville. This is the war in Dallas. This is the war. And niggas want to be them. Not caring about these families who done lost lives. These niggas just want to make money. They call themselves blogger. I'm a blogger. But they won't step foot in the field. Niggas started off doing some whole other shit. Lies about everything. You can't find them lives now when they first started. I wonder why. Niggas was creative narrative. We talk about, we sitting over here in this quote unquote multi-sector that's not even, this shit was, you know, I never liked the name, the name of it, but it's whatever. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody is fine-toothing their content to. Then I wonder how they, then I wonder what, how would this look if I put, they don't give a fuck. And they don't have to. Because black drama and trauma is $1 trillion business. To the point where even niggas is doing this shit. How can these white boys go in these neighborhoods and, yeah, we're gonna show you the hood. We're gonna show you the hood today. Yeah, we're gonna ride around the hood. This is, yeah, niggas is riding, niggas is actually letting these imposters, these colonizers in. You understand me? Letting them in the hood, showing them all the hood shit. Just, you think the police ain't watching this shit, nigga? They watching this shit like we watching this shit. Fuck are you talking about? White influencers co-opting black culture for profit. We gonna ride through the way. We gonna show you the hood. We gonna show you what's going on in the hood. Yeah, this right here. Yeah, this the hood store right here. This where we get it in at. Bumping niggas with guns. Yeah, we got them straps on. Pussy ass nigga. Yeah, fuck nigga. Lay a nigga down. Yeah. Boondocks shit. Telling us this shit right before. And then niggas wanna, man, free my nigga. Why you saying free my nigga? Your nigga was on there. He had the gun all in front of the camera. With his face. Showing the hood, showing the apartment. You think the niggas ain't watching this shit, dog? Stupid. But boy, do it do numbers. It's captivating, ain't it? I know. I be watching some of that shit too. I be studying that shit. Shaking my head. That shit like, damn, bro. You just gave them niggas the whole rundown in your hood. Hey, you see a nigga over there? Yeah, that's my nigga. We seen other AR Ab shit. Nigga from Philly, AR Ab shit. He one of the dumbest niggas. Yeah, this nigga right here, I saw him kill. What? I ain't saying free these niggas. I don't even want to say long live these niggas. I say out of respect because unfortunately they had to succumb to what the popular thing was. Even when it comes to something that's more relative right now in this section of where we at right now, the Mo3 shit is very unfortunate to me. It's unfortunate that out of all the shit he did, a group of niggas took the most negative shit and running off with that shit and making money out that shit. They didn't learn from that shit. They didn't learn from, you know, this shit is real. You niggas always say, man, yeah, nigga, whatever, but he didn't have nobody around him to say, my nigga, say, bro, you were doing a lot, my nigga. And maybe he couldn't be stopped. Maybe these niggas, these NBA young boys and all the niggas, they couldn't be stopped at that point. But hood shit is hood shit. But at the very, say, my nigga, bro, like, you understand the talent that nigga had? Fuck the rap shit. The talent. God-given talent. Niggas missed the whole point of all this shit. Dolph. 3, Fun, so on and so forth. Juice WRLD. Shit, you can even go back further than that to the Mac Dre's and Blade Icewoods and Fat Pat and so on and so forth, my nigga. Niggas missed the whole point. Yeah, it's long little niggas and yeah, but we even Pac. Nigga was gifted. But he fell down to some bullshit. Nigga, you out of here. You gone. You past the stratosphere. That's the frustrating part about all this shit. And I don't mind being critical of niggas because I'm a nigga, so I don't give a fuck what nobody say about anything. You know, this is our culture. You know what I'm saying? This is how we do this shit. And y'all niggas want to be, you know what I'm saying? Niggas want to be 1090 Jake. Niggas want to be DJ. Damn niggas want to be out 22. You know what I'm saying? Them goof ass niggas out there, bro. This nigga out 22, steady walking niggas right into the prison cell. One didn't get locked up, he gonna just bring the next hood nigga in, which he ain't looking at shit, but shit, it's opportunity. Look at how they disguising this shit. Why he ain't getting touched? I don't condone violence, but why, you know? Why is Vlad able to extract? Why are these humans, how are they able to walk into our culture as visitors and control it? Because we let them. If I walked into a hood anywhere in America outside of mine, and even mine, because I ain't a familiar face, you know, now, besides the niggas I grew up with, but niggas don't press me. Say, where you from, nigga? What hood you from? What you woo. But let me be a white boy with a camera crew. Yeah, I'm so and so. This is my platform. I want to just show the gritty part of the city. Oh yeah, for sure. Come on in. You safe with us? How was he safe? Border police got you on a 6-piece screen, nigga. That's where we at in culture right now. Zeus is $1 million network. It ain't nothing of value over there. Nothing. Bunch of bitches fighting, bunch of weird ass, gay ass niggas, bunch of eyeball ass niggas over there doing the worst shit. No value. It's too many pieces. It's too many. It's too much content out here that has no value, and niggas get these platforms, and some may call it hate, some may call it envy. I just call it being a critique, like McGruder said. I'm just watching this shit and critiquing it. Go ahead and get your paper. I would never hate on any person that would let me get in their paper. But that don't mean I can't have an opinion on what you did to get it, though. And I often compare some of these content creators to fiends. Because they made niggas fiends of the content. I mean niggas fiends to the algorithm. I mean niggas fiends for these numbers. Fiends for this shit. You'll suck a dick for a crack rock if you are willing to put your own life on the line, your own safety on the line, your family's safety on the line, for clicks and views and some entertainment for some niggas you don't even fucking know. A fool. If you give fools power, what do you get? Wars. Stupid shit. Niggas dying over petty problems. Niggas die over the worst shit. They don't even, what he died for? Shit, I don't know. That nigga had beef with so-and-so. Why that nigga had beef? That nigga said some shit over a rap song. And you know what? That shit's stupid, bro. That shit don't have no value. Y'all niggas scared to say it. I ain't scared to say it. A lot of these niggas died for nothing. Von died for nothing. 3 died for nothing. Dolph died for nothing. Nothing. Petty problems. A lot of Pac died for nothing. Biggie died for nothing. Nothing. Stupid ass hood shit. Nothing. All that shit you niggas talking, you get caught. You didn't think that the shit was gonna come back and get you, or you? How do they not know? And I understand the politics of the hood. Now I get that shit. Like I tell you all the time from South Dallas, man, all through and through, all through and through. I understand. I have conversations with my niggas as well, who are some are still in the street life, some are out of the street life. We have deep conversations about this shit because I'm somebody they know they can talk to, and I ain't gonna judge them. I just want to have conversations because I done did some shit that I ain't proud of. You think the trail is just clean cut? Fuck no. I done did some shit that I still regret to this day. I had to say, man, I product of my environment. Nothing I'm proud of. But damn, my baby needed some diapers. Needed food. Thank God I never got caught. And that's real shit. But it's stupid. I don't take none of these niggas serious. I don't believe none of these niggas. I know too much for my intelligence to be played with. I just play the game because now I'm aware of the game that I'm in. It's not a game that I had. It's kind of like with basketball or sports. Like the niggas didn't ask for niggas playing football their whole fucking life, getting concussions, not all that shit. But the game has changed now. Niggas wearing caps on top of the helmet. The game has changed. And you still have a love for the game, so you're gonna abide by the game's rules. But goddamn, y'all mean you like that shit? I don't like having a tussle with niggas in the algorithm space. I don't like having to constantly punch up and possibly punch down. I don't like that. Because I just simply came on here for the content. I didn't come on. I don't use YouTube as no dating space. I can give a fuck less. I don't use this shit for no propaganda. I don't give a fuck. Niggas be happy because I created something that you didn't do nothing. And the only place where you get your love at is right here through these frequencies. And even that's faulty because you didn't do shit. Niggas don't be doing shit at all. I look way beyond. That's why I had to stop getting on panels and talking to niggas because I had to realize these niggas not talking the same thing. I gotta somewhat layman myself to a certain extent. Nigga, I'm the worm in the bird chase. Nigga, slide through the hole. Pause. Every day I stand in the eye of the hurricane, every goddamn day. Nigga, all of us do. Everybody in this chat, everybody in this world stand in the eye of the hurricane. It's a myriad of bullshit going on around us. And you gotta fight to keep that little area you got calm. If you ever seen the eye of a hurricane, the eye of a tornado, it's calm in the middle of that. Everything else is going on around it. And we fight to keep that shit calm like that. Every day is something new. Every day is a new trauma. Every day a nigga dying. Every day we see how niggas is dying. They continuously show loops of niggas dying every fucking day. I don't want to see how Mo3 got murdered. I don't want to see how Get Money Lil Ronnie got murdered. I don't want to see that how the YouTube nigga got murdered. I don't want to see how Dolph got gunned down. I don't want to see these niggas get gunned down, fam. I don't. Shit's traumatizing. Because that can be any one of us. These days, this shit happening random. That's where we at now. And we got to find a way to control that shit. Control your own circle. That's what I kind of had to rehome and re-get back on my shit. I got to control my own shit, bro. I can't be worried about niggas. I can only worry about the niggas who really fuck with me. When it comes to content, I can only worry about the community that fucks with me, the community that I'm trying to build, people that I'm trying to build. The best thing that ever happened to me was niggas over here not fucking with me. The best thing ever happened. For a while, I gave my time, I gave my energy to platforms that didn't benefit me. It was one-sided. That's why I pulled myself back from that shit. Like, whoa. Because when I ask for something, it's a problem. When I pull up and give your platform content, give an extra thought on it, cool. I'm making them money, but niggas ain't come over here and come on, man. How many chats we be in that you like? We would really gotta ask ourselves these questions, man. Where are we spending our time at? Is it being official? No reciprocity. My daddy said something to me, and I'm gonna close this shit. I'm about to close this shit out some minutes ago, but it is what it is. My pops used to always tell me, and he still tell me still to this day, before you go out and fight the real opposition, you're gonna have to get clear of the niggas that are in love with the opposition. It's a bunch of niggas that love this shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm part of that problem too. I think we all are. I think the key for us is to balance, is for balance. We've lost balance. When niggas was kings and queens, they always, when it was time to wind down, they brought the court jesters in. I need to come in here. We got the goddamn sword swallowing bitch. We got the nigga that's gonna juggle some shit. Pause. We got nigga that's gonna fight a lion, fight a tiger. You know what I'm saying? We've been kinging and queening all day. Goddamn, we need some entertainment. Entertainment is part of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's a dangerous part of our life because it used to just be a little piece. Now it's all the time. It's overwhelming. And if you're not mentally strong, this shit will break you down. We don't see niggas over here putting their lives on the line, putting their kids at risk. For what? For nothing. You broadcasting stupidity. It's not for everybody. And I understand that. But I do think that sometimes you have to have a moment of clarity with yourself, especially if you're a content creator, because you have to realize this shit is our TV channels, whether we know it or not. We've been blessed with the ability to get on here. This is a privilege, in my opinion. This is a privilege for Niggas work hard for their Wi-Fi. I know I do. I pay damn $200 for this Wi-Fi. Jumping out the gym, nigga. Clearly. But I just love what I do. You know, I love the fact that I've been gifted and been prayed for and been covered to do this shit. I thank God that even when I at my lowest point, I'm thinking, you know what, man, maybe this shit is not. And the people who really love me and pour into me, like, nah, nigga, you gotta go. Like some of my partners, like, nah, nigga, I don't give a fuck. What, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Keep doing this shit, cause nigga, we got you, my nigga. We watching, my nigga. You can't stop now. Too deep in the game. Can't give up. Won't give up. Ain't gonna let up. And like McGruder says, you gotta find ways to reach the people. This is some of the hardest shit I've done in my fucking life. But I love it. It's harder than learning how to play football, or harder than learning how to wrestle, harder than learning how to fight, harder than learning how to, you know, drive a fucking truck. It's harder than it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Because it's you versus the field. The majority of us, Black content creators, are a part of the field. They're a part of anything that goes on. Only a few of us stand against that, like, damn, it's fuck. But that's where you got to get your goddamn feet planted in the ground. You got to get your goddamn wits about yourself. You know, like I said before, man, I'm gonna do this shit until I die. Wherever it goes, it's wherever it goes. But I refuse to live with that. I just refuse to live with the regret of not doing it at all. I wouldn't live with myself. Everything that everybody ever poured into me doing this shit, it'll be in vain if I just stop and say fuck it and start doing some goofy shit. No, I just gotta find a way to finesse the algorithm. That's how I look at it. You can't treat it like it's just one thing. It's like getting to know a new woman. You know, every woman got her own things that make her tick, that make her, you know, everything. One woman might be like to get bit on the motherfucking neck. The next motherfucker, she ain't gonna like that shit. You can't treat it the same. So it's constantly new ways of trying to find new ways to, you know, flip this algorithm on this fucking head, finesse the algorithm. I gotta find a way to package it. I gotta do this and gotta do that. But that's the part of it. And that's why I admire creators like McGruder and many others is finding the way, you know, because we all think that we all got the dopest shit out. But can we find a way to get it to the people where that they can digest it and keep coming back? Is having to recondition the minds of human beings, which is hard to do. I don't have no mind tricks and, you know what I'm saying, all this shit. A lot of these niggas still stuck on the 48 laws of power, and them niggas be using that shit like it's some brand new idea. Don't even realize that they're using that shit on themselves as well. Niggas ain't read a book beyond 48 laws of power. They just try to master this is number 9. This is number 26. This is, you don't even know what the fuck you doing. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You just saying shit because it sound cool. It sound deep. It sound prophetic. It sound cool. And people's minds are like Play-Doh. That's the best thing I did was to understand, to take a step back and look at the audiences. People's minds are like Play-Doh. I've seen many subscribers, especially on this side of the game, get manipulated to the fact where they getting that thing, the money they're supposed to have for them babies, they send it into a nigga for nothing. By all means, get your paper, but goddamn, You gotta feed your babies. What are you getting from like? I don't get that part of it. You feel what I'm saying? Everything that I've gotten, and every piece of help that I've gotten, I appreciate it because I know how hard niggas work for their money. I've been able to buy new equipment, you know what I'm saying, shit to make this shit better because I'm all in. And it's a blessing to have that. Niggas work hard for their money. So in return for somebody investing in me, I'm gonna bring you shit like this that you can take and help in some part of your life. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. I don't need much. You give a fuck about no, it what it is. I don't need much. I'm always get out and grind and grind and grind and grind. But we all, as we are content creators, we also are subscribers. We all are subscribed to something. And I think if you don't have the right mind about what you're watching, what you're consuming, you're gonna end up getting fucked. Every minute any one of you spent here with me, you cannot get that back. You've been here for 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 29 seconds and counting. You can never get that back. This is a service to you. This is a service to anybody and everybody that's going to watch this shit and be like, damn, that bald head stuff, that nigga on to something. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga on to something, you know? And one thing I do want to say to all the content creators that's out there, no matter what genre you in or whatever you do, but do it with some respect. Do it with some honor about yourself. Because the kids is watching, whether you know it or not. The kids is watching. The audience that he had was all babies. It's kids. I got a 15-year-old, I got an 11-year-old, and I got an 8-year-old. Kids is watching. They know what daddy do. They know daddy has a platform, and they know that's the other reason why I had to get better. That pushes me as well because they know, they understand, they talk about it. And I see it throughout their actions. It's beautiful. Kids is watching. You can't get mad at your baby because he at school yelling and arguing when he see his mama yelling and arguing. You see his daddy yelling, and they gonna reflect that because shit, you doing it. So how is it cool for you to do? It ain't, all that do what I say, not as I do. That's bullshit. That's excuses. All these fake prophetic sayings, the game is to be sold, not to be taught. All that is weak shit. That shit is lame. That shit is lame as hell. That shit lame as fuck. Do what I say, not as I do. That shit lame as hell. If you don't want them doing it, then don't fucking do it. At least not do it around them. We got to take control back as adults to start failing our children. We can teach our children all the worst shit. They can know all the words, all the music. They don't know how to fucking take care of themselves and handle themselves emotionally. Or at least giving them the tools because they're going to go through their little phases. But at least, hopefully, you will learn from your mistakes and what you did in your lifetime and pass that knowledge down to the youngsters. We can't sit and reflect back down. These niggas tripping out here. They sliding and doing all the other shit. Just take a step back and turn the clock back. Think about what we were listening to, what we got a hold of in that era. And before that, and notice the change of content and where it changed at. Like McGruder said, 13 years. This was in 2003. So I think 10 years from 13 years from that is what? Somebody do the goddamn math. I'm tired. It's around 1990 something. That's when the shit changed. Talked about Queen Latifah. She was a black revolutionary. Now Pac was a revolutionary. Why is he getting jumped in the mob? Pyro. He was a child of the arts. How did he fall into a hole like that? His lineage was revolutionary, and you've seen that through spurts of him. But how did he fall in? It's tough. It's a lot to consume. I'm gonna let y'all marinate on all this shit, man. Expect something from me. In the time being, make sure you subscribe to Trill Pill Digital. That's where we housing all this real shit at. This will be in the playlist. Everything is in the playlist. Everything is finally crafted like your favorite motherfucking cheese and crackers and wine. You know, that's what it is. You feel me? That's what it is. This has been a beautiful time, y'all. Like I said, and talk to y'all all night. But it's 9 o'clock and I gotta go eat something and I want to play some video games. The work is done though. And this will be here forever for your reference. If you got any questions, man, y'all can hit me up whenever. I'm easily accessible. You might want to get to me now before this shit blow up. She wait. You understand me? You feel me? So I just want to say thank you to everybody here. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Most of y'all done ate dinner, baked barbecue sandwiches, chicken nuggets, boiled ribs, and things of that nature. Macaroni cheese niblets and whatever the fuck you might be eating. You feel what I'm saying? Thank you for spending your time with me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it all. Believe me. Once again, this is the prescription. Curiosity with cosmic truth, flipping the culture inside out, serving the game tailored for those with the most player of palates, for minds that wonder and souls that wonder. I present to you the prescription. I'm gone.